Reddington, and I'm a Moms and Business Thought Leader. You are listening to the podcast for SeriousWomen.com, where Serious is spelled Cereus. The title for this podcast is Self-Discipline, Motivation, and Momentum, How to Overcome These Obstacles. Lions and tigers and bears, oh my! Well, we are going to talk about bears and elephants a little bit later in this podcast, but what has that got to do with discipline and motivation? You'll just have to keep listening to find out. Have you ever wondered why some people are so good at self-discipline, motivation, persistence, determination, and consistency, while others are not? Have you ever noticed that all successful people tend to possess these traits? Where did they get this luck? Well, it all comes down to desire. It's all related to how much they really want the success that will so easily come from practicing these daily practices. Where does desire come from? Desire comes from deep down inside you. It's something you feel, you see, you hear, you taste, you smell. When successful people really want something to happen, they live and breathe that goal every moment. They use all 5 of their senses to make that goal come alive. How does desire develop and grow within us? We are governed by our emotions on a daily basis. Or more accurately, we are governed by our emotions moment to moment. Have you ever seen someone's mood change in an instant? Something triggered that mood change. Something important to that person's subconscious mind triggered a certain emotion in that person's psyche, which in turn caused their mood to change. Fear and pleasure are the 2 most important emotions to control to gain success. Why fear and pleasure? The 2 most common reasons why people desire a certain outcome can be traced back to the emotions of fear and pleasure. Most of our actions are governed by these 2 emotions alone. Now this is where the bears and elephants come in. They are related, I promise. Have you ever seen a bear attack someone? Hopefully you only have in the movies. Bears can be very gentle animals, but when they sense fear, they will attack. If they sense that you are afraid, that makes the bear afraid, and the bear will attack as a form of protection. People are the same. We often let our fears take over and let them control us. We also let other people's fears control us by listening to them. We often become afraid or put up our guard when we sense someone else doing the same thing. But what happens when a baby bear cub sees a bush full of ripe, soft blueberries? Well, all of a sudden, those blueberries are going to be awfully important to that bear. Why? The bear cub knows the pleasure of tasting those ripe berries. How often do people gain weight because they eat too much? It is human nature for most of us to want the short-term pleasure of eating. People let that control them more than the fear of gaining weight. Have you ever seen a child wish to ride on the back of an elephant? My children have done this at a zoo. It was the most compelling attraction at the zoo. We waited in a long line just so they could have their turn. They loved it and felt so elated. Their desire was governed by pleasure. But what do you think would have happened if my children happened to see one of the other children fall off the elephant and get hurt badly while my children were standing in line waiting for their turn? I can guarantee that they would definitely be second-guessing their decision to ride on that elephant. They would think that maybe this isn't such a good idea. Why the sudden change in desire? Fear. What once was looking like a pleasurable experience now looks like a dangerous one. Whether my children stay in that line to ride the elephant or not will depend on what emotion they feel the strongest pull. Which emotion is governing you in moving forward in your business? Where is your strongest pull coming from? Is it fear or is it pleasure? The next time you are lacking in motivation, discipline, or momentum, sit down and think about what your fears are. Deep down inside you somewhere, there are some fears that are holding you back. Is it the fear of failure? The fear of criticism? The fear of poverty? Or something else? Once you realize those fears, work with them instead of against them. Now think about the pleasures you will get from moving forward with your plans. Think of the successes you will achieve. See, smell, and feel what that success will be like. Really get a good picture of it in your head. What does it look like? What does it feel like? The desire to obtain the pleasure of your success needs to be stronger than the desire to avoid the fear associated with moving ahead in life. Only then will you have consistent motivation and discipline to keep the momentum of your success going in a forward direction. Again, I'm Kimberly Reddington, founder of SeriousWomen.com, where I teach moms how to turn their skills into a successful home-based service business and to find a balance between their work and life. Discover my popular special report by visiting www.seriouswomen.com, where Serious is spelled Cereus.